Welcome, everyone, to episode 53 of Ultimate Gamer Podcast. I am well enough to actually do the intro instead of Kevin this time. So, yeah. A little thing.
Huzzah.
Huh?
Huzzah!
Huzzah. Fuck you both. So, we got Andy.
Hello.
And we got Kevin.
Hey.
So, we're going to do things a little bit differently here. One of the ideas we're going to try, let us know if you guys like it. So, each one of us is going to bring up a news article and we'll discuss it. And we'll see if shit hits the fan from there. So we're going to start off with Andy.
Me?
Yes.
I thought we were going to Rochambeau for it.
No.
Okay. Well, my thing is there's been a set of recent updates from Rocket for the DayZ standalone. It's available right now on Steam. Before, I would have told everyone to fuck it, forget it, the standalone's not worth getting it. Now, they've implemented close to like 50 or 60% of what they're going to do in the final game, and it is incredible. It runs well on almost any PC setup as long as it's built within the last, 5 years. Connectivity issues have been solved. A lot of the weapons platforms and textures have been implemented finally. They're going to be implementing hunting and cooking. The main thing is that if you are a survival horror almost fetishist, if you like the concept of survival game with the addition of zombies, now is the time to jump in, because this game is going to be worth way more than the starting price of you getting the early access. Not only that, a bunch of servers have gone up that are actually provided by Rocket as well, so there is no limit to how many people can be on at any time, like before where they had to have only certain people with the alpha keys available. So now is the time to jump in, and if you don't, that's your own damn fault.
Okay.
Oh, and I'll be releasing a new episode later this week, probably around the time that you guys are listening to this podcast. Cattywampus, Loadout Edition. If any of you guys have played Loadout, definitely look into that.
Okay, and what's your channel name again?
Kaiju Platypus.
Okay, and there'll definitely be a link below that
Awesome.
to his channel. Please subscribe. You actually have some interesting stuff. I watched the bill, and I watched the other one where you're playing that one game and you're shooting people and dying and then flipping out. And then you're like, drugs!
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Kevin.
Hmm?
It's your turn.
Oh yes.
The baton has been passed.
Shut up. So on Tuesday, Nintendo had a live direct announcing more information about the new Super Smash Bros. Specifically, that the 3DS and Wii U versions are going to come out at separate times.
Did they give an explanation as to why?
Dick move.
They said because the 3DS is almost finished, but the Wii U version they have to fix a couple of things.
Bullshit.
3DS version is coming out this summer, and Wii U version is going to come out later in the winter.
Now, Andy, can you take a gander as to why they did this? I mean, it's not to cut you off or anything, Kevin, but Nintendo did this for a reason. Because the most sought-after version, of course, is going to be the Wii U edition. So, to hold people through, they're going to probably convince people who want this game badly to buy the 3DS version to hold them over until the Wii U edition comes out.
What do you think, Kevin? You're kind of our resident Nintendo expert here.
Maybe. I'm not really sure.
I mean, do you see my point, though? Is it, like, plausible?
Okay, here's the kicker,
Yeah.
though. Are you going to buy the 3DS version?
No.
Yes. I'm
Oh, I
buying
guess I kinda-
both.
I
guess
might
that kinda
buy the
solves it.
Wii U edition. I don't see any desire.
There are some slight differences between the two. Mainly the fact that the 3DS version will have less music choices than the Wii U version, and also will have certain stages that are not available in the Wii U version. So,
But
they
once
said
again, is it actually kind of worth it?
I don't think so.
I'll have to see. I mean,
don't get me wrong. You know, people wanted a portable version for a long time. However, it's not for me. I mean, portable versions are always going to be dumbed down editions. You know, the Wii U
I don't think that
edition,
actually kind of holds true this day and age, because I've seen some games on the 3DS and such, and they are pretty fucking impressive for being mobile.
they are. However, the Wii U edition, I mean, it's a no contest. I mean, the Wii U edition will look better, play better,
Well,
run at 60 frames a second. That's just not possible on handheld right now.
Kev?
I see. I think it will run on the 3DS version. They said it will run at 60 frames a second.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
And I have to say, that'd be fucking impressive if they do.
It will
pull
be, of course.
They also released some more information regarding online. This time they've basically split online into two categories: for fun and for glory.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Basically, for fun, stages are random. Items are random, and only your wins will be recorded. Okay. However,
Only the wins, not the losses?
yeah. However, for glory it will only play Final Destination. It will have no items, one-on-one battles, and of course win and losses recorded.
All right, we're going to have a contest.
And the glory, you will be, but only your wins for glory will actually be recorded and put in ranked matches.
So they're trying to go into the hardcore gamer set now with that.
Yeah, but
they're gonna have
they pussified it.
They're gonna have a leader. They're gonna have like a leaderboard kind of thing.
This guy won more times than the other one, and guess what? No one lost. Everyone's
They're also
a winner.
gonna add a reporting system as well to cut down on trolling and
like there were any real trolls in the previous one. The previous
actually
game,
there were.
Okay,
No, there were.
I could never get into a match because the online component was a broken piece of shit on the Wii.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with that. The Brawl online sucked, but when you did get into a match, there were some trolls who would basically just stand on the corners of the map, and that was it.
You remember when we made the make your own like CD factories?
Yeah.
And like there was a certain way that all you had to do was just put the prize balls or no, it was the punching bags. So you put a punching bag so that way it's locked in a spot, and then as you beat it up, all the music CDs would fall onto conveyor belts. So all I did was put 0 time limit, and then like me and my brother would just start beating up the punching bags and get all the CDs.
Yeah. I used to do the same thing.
I definitely want to do that again.
As to whether or not there's going to be Stage Maker, they didn't announce anything.
They will.
But there was an image that came out a few days ago of what appears to it looks like a generated map, like as if someone made it.
So are you saying there's a possibility of...
There's a possibility that it might have a stage creator.
Now, this is something that goes against everything Nintendo stood for. I mean, they've never liked the idea of...
No, but they did it on the Brawl.
User creation.
They had it in Brawl, but the Brawl one kind of sucked.
It was a good first attempt.
Yeah. But it wasn't as good as everyone wanted it.
And you do understand when I say that it kind of goes against what they say because, in the past, they've never liked the idea. I mean, that's what's kind of limited their whole concept of,
Didn't
online.
people were pretty creative with, as limited as it was, people recreated Mother Brain's stage in Metroid. I mean, people did a pretty good job.
I created a Tetris level. I created a Dr. Mario level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The same thing.
Remember when we recreated the N64 levels?
Yes.
As much as we could recreate
Yes.
them. So.
That's pretty cool.
Now, Kevin, do you think with the launch of Mario Kart 8 and Super Smash Brothers, whatever the fuck they're going to call this, do you think it's enough to save the Wii U?
I think so. I mean, look, historical-wise, Smash Brothers and Mario Kart have always sort of, pushed units. So honestly, I think it's going to definitely work on this. I mean, look at the 3DS. The system wasn't really doing well until Mario Kart 7 came out.
True.
That really did it for when it came to pushing Wii U's. That's what really did it.
I can't wait until Nintendo releases Mario Kart 8. My Wii U, you know where it is? It's on top of my Xbox One, just sitting there, saying, "Please play me, please." I haven't turned on the Wii U in God knows how long. Like, I think the last time I used it was for... What the fuck was the last game that I bought for it? Wasn't it? I think it was Super Mario 3D World. I think that was the last game I played on it. And I played that game for a week, and that was it.
Also, now, I'm not sure if these are transformable or not, but I also know they announced Sheik and Zero Suit Samus will be returning this time. As to whether or not you can transform from Peach to like Sheik, I'm not even sure. Maybe you can. They weren't really clear on that.
Oh, I can't wait to see Zero Suit Samus.
Well, they kind of redid Zero Suit Samus. She looks more close to what she looked like in Metroid Other M.
Ah, fuck that.
Oh god. Here's the thing, however, is there actually, of course, what's interesting is that her design also kind of caused sort of an uproar amongst the social justice fuckwads of Twitter and Tumblr.
Oh boy, is this what I think it is?
Oh, because again, she's based on her Other M appearance.
No, because our Other M one is horrible. It lacks detail. It's basically her suit is just like blurred. It's not crisp. It's not like, I would say her best Zero Suit is from Metroid Prime 3 Corruption.
Have you actually seen the images of her?
Yes, I have.
And no, in Smash Brothers.
Yes, I have. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
And trust me, she doesn't look that good.
But anyway, the social justice warriors of the internet had a fit because she has high heels.
I don't give a fuck. She has big titties.
Exactly.
Yeah, her titties are more defined.
They were making a big deal out of it.
Do they bounce while you play? They better bounce. They better jiggle physics. Let's do it.
I just remembered there's a joke about jiggle physics. You'll like the loadout video. Anyway.
Dude, she's got a bunny ears with her titties.
Oh my god.
I like that picture.
Sometimes, half of the time, I find women or the social justice or whatever you want to call them that are bitching about stuff like this being petty and stupid. Other times, when I hear how we react, I'm like, okay, they have every right to be fucking bitchy. Dear God, man.
But I mean, like, this is just ridiculous. Oh, she has high heels. She's forcing a patriarchy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but...
You know what's the funniest thing? I met a person today who looks just like Anita Sarkeesian, or whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding. This woman looked exactly like her. Spoke exactly like her. I thought it was her.
I guess she matches the phenotype or something.
So then she's like, well, you know, it's like if a woman with her purse and a man with his... and you with your sports. I'm like... I hate sports. Wait. Did you come to that conclusion because I'm a man? Like I said that?
I'm sorry. No, there is no way of having a discussion about something like that, especially when it comes to how it affects us in gaming, without somebody snickering, because it's just, stupid. Unfortunately... No, it's not stupid. There was a time when a discussion like that was necessary. Now is not that time.
Like
the
15,
current...
Like 15 years ago was it was like, yeah.
There was a time, yeah.
There was a time. However, now it's like there's no need for it, you know, because
there is need for it. There are people who are women's activists around the world internationally. Yes, there's a need for those because unfortunately they're still underdeveloped countries.
Oh yeah,
horrible.
That I understand.
But here in America,
yeah,
I mean,
it's just like
this is outrageous.
Well, here's a question, like to really get this back on the gaming. Why the fuck doesn't Nintendo release, like betas? If you think about it, if you really, really want to get people like hyped up for a game, why don't you release like
betas?
Yeah, early access. Like the one thing that I really hated about Nintendo during last year's E3 was they had this whole experience E3 only at Best Buy. It's like, do you know how much more like hype you would have if you release these demos on the Wii U shop and then say, okay, put a time bomb on them, let them last for like a week, but to make people have to leave their fucking homes to go to Best Buy to have to wait in line for other people, like I would love to be able to have a week where I could just play these demos at home and really get me hyped up for them.
Well,
Like they should
demos have kind of
really.
been like a double-edged sword in the past for the gaming like companies because when people used to do demos, they had to have like a demo itself was like a separate game. They had to stop working on the original game just to make the
I know,
demo
but what I'm
playable.
trying to say is that these E3 demos are already created. They create them for the press. They create them to show them off. Why don't they, allow people to down? The infrastructure's there. It's not like back in the day where, you didn't have downloadables. You had to get a disc. Fine. But the fact is now, with the power of the internet and their network, when they announce all these games and they say, hey, these games will be available on the show floor, why don't they say, hey, look, these games will also be available in everyone's home, starting tomorrow, and these demos will cease to function after a week?
Well, why doesn't Sony or Microsoft do the same thing?
I believe they should. But
Because
it's
well,
very easy to
because-
hack it,
but
that's why.
at the same token, Kevin, neither
Exactly.
Sony nor Microsoft made these demos available at a Best Buy. I'm just saying that if Nintendo already took the first step to allow the general public to access these same demonstrations that usually only the press have access to, why don't they just go full-fledged, full force here?
Because
Go the extra mile. If you're willing to go halfway, go all the way. Allow every customer. I would have been so much more excited about like these demos and stuff if they were to do it.
because
I
when
think
it
it's
comes-
something they should do.
because when it comes to E3 stuff, many of these companies are very anal retentive. They're very protective of their games. That's why when it comes to E3, there's always someone showing. You always see a video of someone sort of guiding you through the.
But they
through-
didn't have that at Best Buy.
Guide. Yes, they did actually.
Did they? I
Yes,
never went to any of
they
the Best
did
Buy
have
things.
people there, sort of like saying, "Oh, look at this!" Oh, Nintendo people standing there looking over the games.
Now he does have a point when it comes to for press junkets and when
Yeah.
they have demos for the press, they do guide them. They sit them in a
Yes, I
room,
agree.
especially for CS. But then again, the type of demos that you're talking about are ones for mass consumption. That would be seen as a general loss by the companies. That's kind of why you don't see them anymore. I mean, in the old days, you used to get, what was it, at Spots Magazine, you get a disc with a whole bunch of demos each month.
No, but they were
Yeah.
pretty good about it on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. I mean, demos were pretty damn prevalent. But you look at it now, the Xbox One and PS4, like the demo selection is just not there. The Xbox One, I'm not kidding, only has, I think, 7 demos. And like 2 of them are Connect Sports Rivals demos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
But the point of it is like if they had a Forza 5 demo or a non-time bombed Dead Rising 3 demo or a Titanfall demo, which they did, they had that beta. But I have to say, Nintendo, it's in right now because they're not doing as well as they should. I think it's in their best interest to make available demos. Give everybody a demo of Super Smash Brothers. I think that will only, increase the hype and get people to start buying this console in preparation for these releases.
Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I mean, Nintendo. They normally announced what their E3 plans towards E3. Like remember last year when they announced the Nintendo Directs,
Which was the worst fucking idea ever.
and they announced it like what was it like a month before E3 or something like that. They announced it just before E3 started. So you never know. You're truly with Nintendo. You never really know because they're that.
They don't
secretive.
even know.
Well, Nintendo is that secretive. They've
That's
always been that
stupid.
secretive. Okay, why
Well,
do you?
that's a really bad stereotype, but yeah, they have been
They've always been
secretive
secretive.
Japanese people.
Okay. I mean, let's be honest here, though. The one who can't keep a secret really is Sony. They've always been horrible at keeping secrets. Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, there was more information such as there's going to be a new Master Ball for Pokemon for Smash Brothers. Greninja and Charizard from Pokemon are going to be playable characters as well. And oh yeah, and Final Smashes are returning.
Final Smashes? I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
in Brawl.
yeah, it basically it's event this glowing icon will Smash Brothers icon will show up during the battle, and then if not you hit it enough, you'll get a final smash, which means it's an instant KO for the most part. Okay.
Hmm.
And but what's awesome is Mega Man's final smash is I'm not kidding. It's Mega Man and all the other Mega Men, Mega Mai, I don't know.
Mega Man.
Mega Men, literally just shooting their laser beams. Like you get like Mega Man Zero, Mega Man Volnut, Mega Man oh shit, the Battle Network one. You know, all of pretty much every incarnation of Mega Man just sort of joins him in like blasting the shit out of the opponents. It's actually pretty awesome.
Oh, that sounds
So,
pretty cool.
yeah, overall, I'm very interested in the new Smash Brothers. I'm definitely going to get it for the 3DS, Wii U version definitely. So, but they also announced there's going to be some connectivity between the two, and so basically all of your stats from the 3DS game are going to carry over to the Wii U version. Well, at least from what
Cool.
they kind of hinted at. So
Now, the real question: do you
Yes.
think this will be a Wii U saver?
I
Like,
think so. Again, along with Mario Kart 8, I think it will save the Wii U.
because that's kind of what they said for Mario Kart 8, and
Oh no, Mario Kart 8 is like right now so far the most anticipated release.
Yeah.
I
it's
really
just it comes back
enjoy
to the
it.
question that we had last time. It's like, does anticipation for the Nintendo group really, dictate the ability for them to sell something?
I don't think so, but we'll see.
Because hype, I agree with you. Hype worked with the PlayStation and the Xbox, but they were just coming out with the console. This is now the console's been out for a while. Stuff, I don't know. Well, like you said, we'll see. Whatever. Moving on.
Moving on to my topic. Ha ha ha.
Okay.
My topic is we're going to discuss Sony and a new trend that we're starting to see. They announced yesterday The Last of Us Remastered for the PlayStation 4. It is a full $60 tittle.
When just
What?
for when did the game come out?
It came out summer of last
Last year.
Yeah.
So, and we're not even officially in summer, so it's less than 1 year.
Less than 1 year later, they re-released the same fucking game with just better details and will run a little bit faster. I mean, to be honest, in my, professional opinion, The Last of Us should never have been released on the PS3
Why not?
You think they should
because the PS3 wasn't capable. I mean, when I played this game, and mind you, I have the Survival Edition, which is fucking expensive right now. If you look at it,
La-di-da.
yes, but don't get me wrong, it was a good game. However, the PlayStation 3 was really, really showing its age. The game took its sweet fucking time to launch. Every time you launched the game, you sat at this black screen with, it looks like the plague's like pollen like shit, and it would just flow, and you just sit there with the little guitar music in the background, and you just sit there for about a minute and a half, sit there for about 2 minutes, and then eventually you could start playing. But when you played, the frame rates dropped left and right. The frames were completely inconsistent, constantly dropped below 20. The graphics were very muddy, lacked detail. And people were trying to say that this is the greatest looking game on the PlayStation 3. I'm like, yeah, but it's far from the best looking game I've ever played. I mean, the game really screamed that it needed to be released on the PlayStation 4. Like, I kept thinking in the back of my mind that they were going to do it, but to me, it's a cash grab. I don't know. I don't care how anyone wants to slice it. It should not be priced at 60 fucking bucks. I think that's retarded. It's the same thing with the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. To be honest, there's very little work that had to be done. And mind you, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One run an x86 architecture. So in case in point for Tomb Raider, for the definitive edition, it's literally a PC port. Just very little, porting really went into the game. The code was already there. They just tweaked it slightly to optimize it for the console. That's all they did. And in this case, yeah, there's a little bit more involved, but it's still the most of the work is already done. To me, it doesn't scream $60 title. And now a lot of people are trying to say, well, they put a lot of work into this. And look, the textures were already there. They had to dumb it down to run on the PlayStation 3. People keep forgetting how old and outdated the PlayStation 3's hardware was, and that this game really would have played far better if it was released strictly on the PlayStation 4. Now, will I ever replay the game on the PlayStation 4? If I find it, on sale for less than $20, probably, but fuck no, am I going to pay $60 when I paid $60 already for the PlayStation 3 edition? I could understand if, Sony said, hey, look, you know what, here's an upgrade. We'll do the same thing we did for, the launch of the PlayStation 4. If they said, hey, if you own a copy of The Last of Us, just stick the disc into your console or whatever, and, we'll give you a discount. If that's the case, you know what, then fine, maybe I'll go for the discount. But $60, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Just for an upgrade. Really just an graphical upgrade.
And it really comes...
Would it be really considered a graphical upgrade if it was originally supposed to be this or that, and now they're making you pay for the game that you supposedly paid for originally?
It's not really a graphical upgrade at all. As I said, the entire time I was playing The Last of Us, I kept in the back of my mind, it was saying, God, if only this was on better hardware.
I.e. PC?
Yes, I'm serious. Yes. Because it's cringeworthy. Because, look, there's more to just textures. And that's what everyone's like, oh my God, look at the textures, look at the... No. When there's no anti-aliasing, the draw distance is shit. There's stuttering, there's frame drops. That to me doesn't make a good game. It really takes away from the experience, and people don't understand this. This is why I hate playing certain games on consoles. This is why I stopped playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I bought the game. I was like, yes, I'm really excited. I'm pissed off that it wasn't released on PC. I was like, I'm going to try playing this. I'm not kidding. I gave up on it because it took forever to launch. The frames were shit. The textures were shit. The draw distance were shit. And, there's so much latency from controlling because the frames are dropping. It really does take away from the experience. And that's the thing. You get spoiled. When you're a PC gamer, you get spoiled by solid 60 frame rendering, very crisp textures, native resolutions. You get spoiled by it. It really does make the experience that much better. But
now, this is, of course, coming from someone who says that, whatever... The ability to be able to put something on the screen to look pretty does nothing to gameplay, as in emotions.
No, I'm not talking about that. Look, there's more to graphics than just looking pretty. It's about playability. And when the graphics are, slowing down, when the visuals are just starting to lag and get delayed and, get choppy.
And the frame rate started going down.
Yes. It really takes away from the experience. And it's been scientifically proven that a player is more likely to, if you had two opponents, equal ability, one's playing at 30 frames a second and one person's playing at 60, the person who's playing at 60 is more likely to win.
Well, actually, yeah, that's pretty...
It's scientifically
I'm not going to
proven.
say if it's scientifically proven. I don't know. I just know that when I've played on a system that was stuck at 30 frames per second compared to a system that was able to do 60 frames a second, it was a different experience altogether.
And it's more pleasant, too.
Yeah,
That's
it was
the thing.
more enjoyable, and, yeah, you do better compared to someone else.
Not to mention the screen tearing on the game. Oh, God, I hate screen tearing. And people yell at me, like, why are you using VSync? because I hate screen tearing. It's annoying. Yes, my rig can render Portal 2 at 300 frames a second, but why? You know, remember that I made a video a while back. I made a video explaining that most gamers can only get 60 frames a second. And of course, you had someone saying, "Oh, but your eye can see more than that." That's not the point. The point is, if your display can only refresh its pixels 60 times a second, if you push 120 frames at that screen, only 60 of those frames are actually being displayed. It's like people saying, "Oh, I pop a Blu-ray into a standard definition TV and I'm seeing HD." It's like, are you fucking stupid? It's like, oh, if I take a 128 kilobit per second MP3 and convert it to lossless, it's lossless.
Oh no. Don't get me wrong, I'm not full-blown audiophile, but I am with them on the whole idea. Like recently there was one called the Pogo Player that came out that not only that comes with an infrastructure for a whole bunch of lossless audio, and yeah, there is a fucking difference, you twits. MP3 is horrible. It's grainy. It's staticky. When you listen to lossless long enough, just like when you play a game in high enough FPS, you notice it.
Of course, you hear the crisp highs and stuff, and it's the same thing for like Blu-ray. Like, by the way, I have coming to my house by the end of this week the Twilight Zone Blu-ray collection. I can't wait to see this.
Okay, what we need to do is we need to set off a weekend and just get a couple of pizzas, get some beer, sit down.
Of course.
The three of us watch Twilight Zone and record it live.
Yes, and then as an April Fool's joke, we will all sit down and watch all 3 Twilight movies.
Oh God!
Oh God! No, dude!
No, not unless it's the riff tracks.
Unless, well, yeah, riff tracks I would like. Unless there's like more than beer served, I'm sorry, I cannot survive that hard.
If we have some shrooms.
Oh God!
No, but the Twilight Zone, I can't wait to see it. But it's the same thing. Like everyone's like, "Oh, streaming is so cool." You know, streaming is the best. I hate streaming for the sole fact that the quality is shit. When I'm watching Netflix and there's an action scene that's being displayed, all of a sudden the pixels, you get tearing, you get pixelization.
Not only that, it drops in quality to the point that you might as well be watching a YouTube video from like the first year of YouTube. Yes. It is. Oh God!
That's the one thing that sucks about YouTube. Netflix is the dynamic bit rate.
Yes, unfortunately, it doesn't allow you to preset it
up.
Unless you have made a discovery like I have. Chrome has an extension called YouTube Settings that allows you to forcibly put a preset to what you view.
Yeah, but that's for YouTube. That's not for Netflix. I've used that for YouTube.
I know.
Because
I'm talking about
think
YouTube.
It's still bullshit that in this day and age, YouTube does not let you set a default.
Well,
it's bullshit.
YouTube,
but it's the same thing with the app on the iPhone and Android. Actually, no, it's only in the iPhone. The Android version, you can set it to HD even if you're on cellular data. But the iPhone edition, you can only set that option if you're on Wi-Fi. Is bullshit. It's like, dude, I have an unlimited data plan. Let me be the boss.
I'm sorry. I don't have much respect for Apple hardware, so I don't find it.
Yeah, neither does Google, but
hey, they have their reasons. Okay?
By the way, Windows Phone 8.1, I have to give them props. They actually joined where Android was 2 years ago.
And folks, that's actually something nice he's saying about it. Believe it or not,
yes,
it's a veil. It's a backhanded compliment.
It is. I mean, look, I that's the only reason why I keep my Windows Phone around. I have the Lumia 928. The only reason why I keep it around is for these updates. Camera. It has a really fucking good camera.
Might as well have bought a good camera and not wasted the rest of the money on getting a phone that's
also... No, but I didn't buy it for the camera. I am genuinely interested in Windows Phone. The biggest hurdle right now is the lack of apps. Yep. It really is the biggest thing. And I mean, luckily, all these updates that they're putting in there will make the phone more usable.
See, since it's happening to a whole bunch of other people, I'm going to have to name it the Nintendo method. It's not a syndrome, it's the Nintendo method. When you set out to make something and provide zero third-party support for it, you're going to fail on the outstretch. That's the opposite of what Google is doing now. Whenever they're coming up with a new product, something from Google Glass to anything else, they put it out there as either a test bed or saying, hey, are you guys actually interested in this? Third-party developers, check out Google Gear, check out this, check out that. Then people fucking make the manufacture
okay,
and create
then what would
entire...
you? I guess. Well, there is also a case of Samsung syndrome too, because Samsung believes in proprietary because they're fucking retarded.
Yeah, Samsung is just the middle child
no.
of the whole scenario.
Samsung wishes they were Apple, and they try very hard to be them, but they have no originality. Like, that's the sad thing. Like, Samsung, I mean, TouchWiz is a pile of shit. Their phones really have little to no differences between them. The Galaxy S3, 4, and 5 look the fucking same. Yes, there's different screens in each one. Yes, there's slightly different cameras in each one. Yes, there's slightly different internals. But that's it. You know, it looks like they stuck on a single design, and they're not gonna, sway from that. Exactly the way Apple is.
I think we've gone far enough from the original topic here. I say,
no.
whatever,
We got to keep going. Let's keep going.
No. Whatever. Let's go. Moving on.
Galaxy Gear. I want to love it. I want to actually own one. However, until someone can release the Android Wear ROM for it, it's useless. And I can't wait to buy Moto 360.
Oh,
I'm on the pre-order list. I can't wait to buy that damn watch. That is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm serious. I definitely think...
Moving on. Anything else that we have for the video gaming
Tech
world?
Podcast.
Oh, boy.
In the video game world...
Yeah, the plebeians like stuff when it comes to consoles, remember?
Microsoft, there was something that Microsoft was doing. I forget what it was. It had something to do with, like, backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yes.
They're considering it.
But that's a lot better than just not.
Something they should have considered, I don't know, before they even announced the system.
Look, there's definitely going to be a complete different, philosophy for the Xbox One. The problem with the Xbox One is it was developed and designed under certain leaderships that gamers, for the most part, don't give a fuck about.
And leaderships who have since been relieved of their post.
Exactly.
Say.
But now, the person who, to be honest, should have been in charge since the fucking first meeting about the Xbox One, Phil Spencer should have been in charge then. He should have had the keys to the kingdom because he's a genuine gamer who just wants to play games. You know, he never gave a fuck about any of the multimedia features of this box, even though, ironically, I use my Xbox One solely as a Blu-ray player. But I definitely think Phil Spencer is going to shake things up for it, and quite honestly, I definitely think the only chance the Xbox One has of beating the PlayStation 4 is under his leadership.
Really now?
I really do. I think they're gonna sway away from the focus of multimedia and TV and socializing shit. They're gonna focus more on games now under his leadership.
Well, Phil Spencer himself said he's pushing it for. What he said. Let's see. He says, when you make a decision to bring the head of studios to a position like this, you're gonna get a gaming-led platform. He wants it to be more about gaming rather than TV, sports, and that's it, and all that other crap.
Sports.
And the thing is, if he
TV sports,
if he's able to make an announcement at this year's E3 and say, "Hey, look, we're going to release Xbox One 2.0, an update that enables full backwards compatibility with every single Xbox Live Arcade title you've ever purchased, you can download for free and play on your Xbox One. All your Xbox 360 titles, you just pop in the disc and play it as if it was on the Xbox 360. The Xbox One will shoot off in sales. I can guarantee
Xbox Original?
Fuck the original.
Excuse me?
Look, it's the same excuse people had for the Wii U. People were bitching, oh, why can't I play GameCube games on it? Look, that's why you have the Wii. I don't think you need 2 generations of backwards compatibility. I think you need at least one. So like the PlayStation 4, I think it should have had, at the very least, PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility.
I'm actually going to jump on the train and agree with John on this one. When it comes to like compatibility, it should really be just one generation. Because if you're programming for 2 generations, 3 generations in the past, and remember, we've never, up until this current or the last set of consoles, have ever had the problem of backwards compatibility. I mean, back when it was Nintendo 64, it was Nintendo 64 only cartridge. Sega Saturn, it was only Sega Saturn.
Which that would have been really interesting if the Dreamcast could play Saturn games. Like that would have been like a pinnacle point for them. You know?
Yeah. Would
It's a
have been
shame.
another reason to be pissed off the fact that,
Well, when it
It
comes to
didn't make
backwards
it.
compatibility, I think Sony had it right with the original PS3.
I
You
agree.
know, they had it
was
right. I
good.
mean, PS1, PS2, backwards compatibility. It was freaking awesome. I
But then
loved
they
having.
fucked up when they removed the more recent, previous console. It just didn't make sense to me. It's like, yeah, you could play PlayStation 1 games on a high definition console, but you can't play PS2 games. You know.
Technically, it can. It just won't
Of
read the
course it can.
discs. It can. I mean, it's
No,
already been proven. I mean,
it could read the discs. The problem with it is that there's just no emulation on there.
or at least there is because of the PS2 classics.
Yes.
but
There
weren't
is
those
some.
just reformatted for the PlayStation?
No, there were custom
the-
emulation within each download. So what they did was it was like they had a ROM and then they tweaked a game specific emulator that would translate the code for the cell processor and RSX.
However, the later model, the later backwards compatible model PS3s, they didn't have PS1 or 2 chipsets in them.
They did.
No, the later ones,
Yeah, they
like
did.
the last few models, it was entirely emulation.
It was they had let me actually research this right now so that we don't get them confused. It was either the Emotion Engine or the other one that they took out to cut costs. Half of it was software emulation. The other half was hardware, and that was with the 80 gig backwards compatible. Because I have the original 60, which is full-on hardware backwards compatibility.
Hmm.
And I'm curious if they have a picture of the motherboard.
Now, when it comes to like the marketability of it, do you actually think introducing 100% backwards compatibility for the Xbox One to the Xbox 360 and only the Xbox 360, I don't think they would actually be able to pull it off.
I think they can, because if you think about it, just how, the amount of horsepower that's in these consoles now, I mean, it's amazing compared to previous gen. I mean, previous generation consoles, at that time, remember, they were like, oh my god, we're actually more powerful than PC hardware. And then a month later, PC hardware is just like, fuck you. But here, I think
Kick them in the face with their
thing
energy
that-
legs.
I think the thing that Microsoft has going for it is it doesn't have the complexity of Cell. Remember, it was just a simple tri-core processor. And that can easily be emulated. It's an 8-core processor that's currently in the Xbox One. I think that can be easily emulated. There's a better chance of Xbox 360 emulation than there ever will be for PS3.
True. Well, we can only hope if there is an actual radical change, or if it's not just basically a horse and pony show or dog and pony show, whatever you call it, where they're putting some guy as a pedestal of, hey, this guy's a gamer, you should buy our console, because gaming. I hope it doesn't turn into another one of Ridge Racer, like it happened to Sony.
Don't get me wrong, like I said, the PlayStation 4, I love the hardware. I'm just very disappointed with its software releases so far. To me, the PlayStation 4 gets just as much usage as my Wii U right now.
I'm going to have to say that sounds like an insult.
It is an insult because if you think that's what one of my points was last week, I was saying, what's really funny is I'm not the only one. There are people that report the same thing. They're like, yeah, my PS4 doesn't get much use because the good, system seller games aren't out yet. And a lot of us were looking forward to Infamous Second Son, and unfortunately, it just didn't turn out to be the hit that people wanted it to be. But as I said, at the same time, right now, all three of my current gen consoles, they get very little use. The Xbox One surprisingly gets the most use, and it's not even for games; it's for fucking movies. But
that's what happened when I used to have a PS3. I just used it as a movie server.
Yeah. Well,
And I
that's the
installed
biggest
Yellow
issue.
Dog
I'm
Linux on
still
it when,
pissed off that they
back
don't
in the days
have
when they allowed
DLNA.
you to install a different operating system on the Sony PS3. Yellow Dog Linux on it, perfect media server.
These are very capable boxes. However, it really comes down to the software that's on them. I mean, if Sony can pull off the PlayStation 1 and 2 backwards compatibility with that upscaling and like software enhancements that are rumored, I think it's going to be a very widely used feature. I would definitely pop in my old PlayStation 2 games and play them on the PS4 with that upscaled resolution and cleaning up textures. I mean, it's something that I do on my PC a lot. I take my old PS2 games. I use, I think it's PCX, I think is the something.
PSX.
Something else. I forget the name of it. But
I know. I
you can
used to
do
use
the
PSX as an emulator.
you could do
so.
post-processing and it does everything. Anti-aliasing. It's able to add all
And
this
also
to the game.
the supposedly argued the existence of the PS3 emulator.
Well, no, actually, the PS3 emulator does exist because someone, what was it? You could put custom ROMs, firmwares on the PlayStation 3, and one of these people actually demonstrated backwards compatibility on a PlayStation, like a 40 gig PlayStation 3, and they pop in the disc, and it says, nope, you can't play this. So they pop in a flash drive, they flash the firmware, and then they pop in a disc again, and this time it runs.
How about that?
So it's possible. Even more so possible with the PlayStation 4. So I think we had really good topics this week. I think the show is good to go unless one of you guys have anything else you want to discuss.
Nothing really.
No. I think that's it from everyone here at an undisclosed location. Platypus, everyone.
Platypus.
Platypus.